Good morning. I'd like to welcome everybody to February 27th board meeting and planning commission. We're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna open up with the Board of Supervisors meeting first, and got somebody we wanna recognize, and then we'll go into our planning commission. If I could, I'm gonna ask Mr. Slade to open us up with a word of prayer.
I'd be glad to. Let's pray. Father, as always, we open our time together today by invoking your presence here with us. Father, thank you that you promise to never leave us, to never forsake us. Father, you provide for us. You give abundant blessings to us. Father, we stand in recognition that everything we have, all that we are, all that we ever want to be as a county, Father, that's going to be dependent upon your blessings upon us, and we ask for those to be freely bestowed. I pray for wisdom, for discernment today, Lord. Help these men to understand what they're being asked to do. Father, help them to make good and wise decisions that benefit every citizen of our county. Thank you, Lord, for the safety that we enjoy here and the men and women who commit every day and make sacrifices so that we can enjoy that freedom in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. All right. First, I'd like to do our public comments, and I think Mr. Slade's got something for Maylee Gilmore on her accomplishment.
Yes, sir.
Maylee, if you want to come on up to the front.
Yeah, absolutely. Gentlemen, we have the privilege today to recognize, come forward, Ms. Maylee. We have the privilege today to recognize Maylee Gilmer. She is standing right here with me. She's a resident of Florence, Supervisor District 1, if anybody was wondering.
Right.
And so we have the privilege today to honor and to commend and to recognize Maylee on an accomplishment, a recent accomplishment, and to wish her the best because she's still got more work to do. And so I'm going to read this resolution. This is on behalf of the board, Maylee, and today we're telling you congratulations on your honor. This is a resolution commending and congratulating Maylee Gilmer of Florence on being selected as the Distinguished Young Woman of Rankin County, class of 2026. Whereas Maylee Gilmer is the daughter of Greg and April Gilmer. You need to get your parents' names in here. You understand that, right? Okay. All right. All of whom are residents of Rankin County Supervisor District 1. And whereas on February the 1st of 2025, Maylee competed in the Distinguished Young Women of Rankin County competitions held at Brandon City Hall, and she was awarded the title of Class of 2026 Distinguished Young Woman for Rankin County. With her award, Maylee was given a generous scholarship, and she'll be invited to compete as Rankin County's entrant into the statewide competition that take place in Meridian in July. So whereas Maylee is a talented and intelligent young person who maintains a straight A average at Florence High School, she's an 11th grader. Maylee is a gifted singer who incorporates sign language into her performances. And whereas Maylee intends to pursue higher education upon graduation from high school, and she's considering the field of medicine as her choice of careers. We left it kind of broad, just in case. All right. Whereas Rankin County, the Board of Supervisors is a proud supporter of wholesome children and youth activities, such as the Distinguished Young Woman Program, is especially proud to support our youth who seek to achieve at the highest levels. The board believes that healthy programs provide experiences, opportunities, and encounters that instill valuable mental and physical skills, work ethic, and a healthy emotional encounter that would otherwise be unavailable. And we're proud of Maylee Gilmer and the Gilmer family for their excellent representation of the public school system in Rankin County. Whereas it's with great pride on behalf of all citizens of Rankin County that we, the Rankin County Board of Supervisors, recognize and commend Maylee Gilmer on her special achievements, and we wish her and her family the best of luck in the future. Maylee, this is an official resolution signed by each of the supervisors and by our Chancery Clerk, Mr. Scarborough. He's also from around that area, you know. And so we're very, very proud to recognize your accomplishment, and we wish you the best as you get ready to compete further. Okay. Good luck to you. Yeah, thank you so much. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank y'all. Now we will recess out of our call the, planning commission meeting to order. Approval of January 30th minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion from Scott and second from Steve. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Old business. Got any old business? Any old business? All right, new consideration. Brian?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Let's see. Our first item we have, Rankin County initiated rezoning request for 379 Highway 43 South. This is a 7-acre parcel that is zoned A2. This is an aerial view of the property. The property is adjacent to the Marathon Service Station and is near Interstate 20 in Pelahatchie. Historically, the site was used as a church before being repurposed as a storage warehouse. The current owner obtained a renovation permit to convert the existing structure into office spaces. It is our assessment that a C2 classification would better align with the property's intended use and surrounding development. And these are the surrounding properties. That's what we have.
Any questions on that one, gentlemen? That property is very, very close to the southern boundary of the town of Pelahatchie zone.
Yes.
And everything that's on the Pelahatchie line is commercial. Every bit of it. And so it's appropriate for us to reset our zoning classification to better align with what the town has already indicated should be zoned right there in that area. And like Brian said, you throw a rock, hit I-20, you throw a rock, hit State Highway 43. So these are high-traffic commercial areas in that part of Pelahatchie.
All right, do I need to make a motion to approve?
I don't know, Steve, I think.
Or we
that's
just
you.
gonna set it
You'll
later
set it.
here?
Yeah, you'll
Okay.
set it, in the next.
I see it.
Do we need to do something?
No.
We're gonna go to number 2.
Okay. This is the Vineyards at Castle Woods. They're seeking a variance to construct a maintenance building, a fitness center, and trash compactor. They are requesting a 21-foot variance between the existing maintenance building and the proposed maintenance building, and a 15-foot variance between the existing apartment building and proposed fitness center. All right, this is, the property is zoned R4. And here is an aerial view of the property. Colors and materials will match existing structures. All right, the proposed structure will be 9 feet from the existing maintenance building. The applicant has stated they will sprinkle the new structure, the new maintenance building. Here's some pictures of that. And this is a picture of the fitness center. They're proposing a 15-foot variance between the new structure and the existing apartment building. And this is a view of the property and the surrounding properties. That's what we got.
Brian, I'm curious, why do they have to sprinkle?
They are those two, the proposed maintenance building is literally 9 feet from the
Okay.
existing.
It's a proximity issue.
There's oil, gas,
Yeah.
they're working in there. It would be best if they,
Mr. Slay, Brian and I met with the fire department,
Yeah.
and that was at one of the fire department's requests for,
Yeah.
to offer the variance.
Makes perfect sense. I'm just curious if that
Yeah.
was what it was that was triggering it, or if it was something they had stored in there. It sounds like it's a combination of all those things.
yes, sir, it is a combination. And they have agreed, Vineyards has agreed to sprinkle that property, no issues.
Super.
Okay.
We do that next.
Now we're gonna set the public hearings.
Where did we set that at? It's not on there.
It is.
Where?
Now we're gonna set the public
Yes,
hearings.
sir. That's
Motion
why
to do that.
I get a motion
I
on
need a
both of those separate motions.
Motion to set the public hearing.
I need a motion to set the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to set the public hearings for 9 a.m. One of them, well, they're separate dates. I'll do mine. All right, I'll do District 4 for March 3rd, 9 a.m. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Steve made a motion, Brad seconded the motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Yeah, I'll make the motion to set the Castle Woods, the vineyards at Castle Woods for March 17th at 9 a.m.
Okay.
Second.
Scott made a motion, Steve seconded the motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Good morning, gentlemen. This will be the nuisance property consideration section of the Planning Commission agenda. Item 1 has been resolved, and so we will move to item 2. Item 2 is the James Loper nuisance property. This is 103 Cheryl's Lane. This is a District 2 property. I'm going to open that public hearing. I'll ask Brian to demonstrate with the photos. I'll ask Mr. Loper or anyone on behalf of Mr. Loper who's here to be prepared to come before the board to address the board concerning the condition of the property.
We received a complaint on December 3rd, 2024 for running a business, motor vehicles, and rubbish and garbage. These were the photos that were taken on December 3rd. Kobe was unable to make any contact with anyone at the residence. The property owner is deceased. It appears that there is someone living on the property. Per Chancery Court, and an estate proceeding has been filed but is not open yet. And these are the photos that were taken yesterday.
So what good do we do by declaring a nuisance?
So I need to look at the petition that was filed in Chancery Court to open the estate. More than likely, that's going to have information in it, Jay, that would tell me who is requesting the court to appoint them to be what we refer to as the personal representative or the executor of the estate. Once we know that, then we have somebody officially under court order and under court obligation to address the situation as it relates to the assets of the estate. This will be an asset of the estate more than likely, and so we'll have somebody to ask to actually appear. So my advice would be, let me look at the petitions filed with the Chancery Court, and then we'll probably reset this and have that individual come before us. I may do that even before the court entertains an order appointing that person, in light of the fact that the petition itself would be a request that they be appointed. So we can get somebody here who will have the authority and the obligation to deal with whatever's happening with that property.
Are they living in that fifth wheel, or is it, do you know? Don't know.
Couldn't make contact.
Gotcha.
Y'all got a copy of the petition?
That's what this
Oh, okay, yeah.
But y'all sent somebody a letter and nobody
We
responded?
did.
Oh, they have received it.
Yeah, we've got a petitioner. This won't tell me who has been appointed.
They
Well, it
have
might.
received-
It might.
And they have received a letter.
Did we determine that there was no one here in opposition?
No.
I didn't
we're here to
ask. Is
speak
there
on it.
anyone here to speak on the Loper matter? I just assumed that we didn't have, my bad. Anybody here to speak on the Loper matter? Anybody? Okay.
Kobe, you able to reach anybody there?
No, sir, but they have received a letter,
Okay.
both letters actually.
I mean, I don't know why we couldn't just go ahead and declare it a nuisance.
Well,
Let's get ahead of the game.
it,
So, one issue, there's a good bit of litigation here, gentlemen. It looks like there's been it looks like this has been going on for the better part of a year and a half. So, a lot of it is issuances of subpoena and that type thing. So, some of this may be misleading as to exactly what all sort of activity has happened.
So we're just gonna table this?
Yeah, I would say let's, because we didn't notify anyone in particular, we didn't know who to notify, right?
That's right.
If we notified anybody, it would have been the record owner of the property, right? Mr. James Clyde Loper.
Yes.
So that individual can't respond to a notification. So I think we need to start our notice, just to be on the safe side. We need to start our notice, and we've got a petitioner here, so that we've got somebody that we can actually notify and get them here. And it looks like they're represented by council, which could help. Okay? So
Brian, is
I'll
that-
take care of that part of it.
Is that Cheryl's frontage, or is that Fan Landing Circle frontage?
It's right on the corner.
Is that corner, is the whole one? I rode through there and it was a little difficult to follow the addresses, I was looking for that.
So we're not gonna take any kind of action?
Yeah, we'll just let the record reflect that no action's taken on item 2. We've got work to do on notification for item 2. Gentlemen, I'll close that public hearing in the event I didn't. Item 3, if we're prepared to move forward, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
Item 3 is the Donnell and Leanne Easley nuisance property. This is 109 Live Oak Lane. This is District 2 property. We'll open that public hearing. Brian is going to demonstrate with the photos. I'll ask Don or Leanne Easley or anyone on their behalf to be prepared to come forward and address the board.
We received a complaint on January the 16th, 2025 for rubbish and garbage and parking and storage of trailers. These are the pictures taken on January the 23rd. No contact has been made with the property owners, and the notice of violation was received by certified letter. These are the pictures that were taken yesterday. So some of it has been cleaned up, but
Are you Mr. Easley?
No,
Okay.
keep it, but that's my stuff though.
All right. If you'll come forward, please, give your name and address to the board, and maybe you can tell us.
Keeper, 109 Live Oak Lane. Yeah.
Are you renting a place or?
No, I just live with them.
Or you live
Yeah.
with them?
That's all, it's all gone now.
Well, not all of it.
Yeah, I got pictures from this morning I can show you.
That,
Yeah, that's all gone.
that's all gone, the
I
boat?
took the boat out, everything. The only thing that's still there is that little trailer. I got some stuff on it that I'm building something in the back, so I took it and put it back in the back.
But you
Everything
can
else
move the little trailer to the rear of the property?
to the side. I can show you a picture where it's at right now. You wanna see it?
Yes, sir. I'd like
Yes,
to.
sir, I would.
Kobe, when did y'all take your picture?
Yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yes, sir.
That's the front of the yard, big trailer's gone. That's the side of the yard. Like I told him, I moved a little trailer back there because I'm working on a chicken coop in the back and it's got some lumber on it. So I need to finish that this weekend, I get that trailer out of there.
With the chicken coop?
Sell
Sometimes-
eggs and make a fortune.
I don't know if that is allowed in there.
Just,
I should have said that.
just, yeah, you got the trailer moved, that's enough.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we good?
Yeah.
sir, you said you were building something out there? What, could you tell us what you're building?
Chicken coop.
Chicken coop. Okay.
Is that a problem?
It's in the RC district.
In Wood County, we can have chickens, right? Like half the neighborhood's got chickens over there.
Yeah,
Let me tell you, we don't drive around looking for violations. They come to us generally by folks in the neighborhood or in the vicinity or an adjacent property owner. They will bring it to us as a complaint, and that's how we respond to these.
And it's usually the rooster crowing early in the morning.
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
The
Yeah.
neighbor does.
So
About 20 of them. Oh, my God.
if they're,
I'm really not, you know, y'all, they send me these letters and talk to me about this stuff, but y'all see all the properties around us. What do you mean?
Right.
So,
Somebody-
a week from now, am I gonna go home and my yard's clean and
Yeah.
all their stuff's still there?
Somebody just
I gotta-
turned you,
that's a
somebody
big problem
turned
for me.
y'all
You
in.
know, I'm working every day, I'm just
Yeah.
trying to move, and these other people, all their yards are trash, and
We're working on 'em.
we receive
Report them,
complaints.
is all I
We
can tell
receive-
you.
I'm just, you know, I'm just trying to mind my business.
Yeah.
Do what I gotta do.
Yeah.
So if neighbor's situation becomes troubling for you and your family, we will receive that complaint and we'll address it just like we have with the one that came on y'all, okay?
Alright.
we'll do the same thing.
Works for me.
Equal opportunity.
Gentlemen, we'll let the record reflect that no action was taken on that, that we do appreciate the responsiveness of the property owner or occupant to address the condition, take care of that. We appreciate that. And so we'll reflect that no action is taken on that matter. We'll close that public hearing. Item 4, Mr. President, is the Lafretta Watkins nuisance property. This is 331 Water Oak Road. This is a District 5 parcel. We'll open that public hearing. I'll ask Brian to demonstrate with the photos. I'll ask Ms. Watkins to step forward or anyone on her behalf if they're here.
We received a complaint on January the 7th, 2025 for vehicle parking and storage in the road. These are the pictures that were taken on January the 7th. No contact has been made with the property owner and certified letters have been received. These are the photos that were taken yesterday.
Looks like they got it all
So
back
he's-
together, Jay.
Yeah, he's put it back together, but he's still parking in the street.
Is this Reservoir Community District?
Is this, sir? It is.
Is it
Yeah.
running? No. I make a motion for nuisance.
Second.
Jay made a motion.
Is there anyone here on the Watkins matter? Anyone?
Jay made a motion to declare the nuisance. Scott seconded the motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries.
Mr. President, we'll let the record reflect that public hearing is closed.
Next meeting will be April 3rd, at 9 a.m. Need a motion to adjourn.
Recess or adjourn?
Adjourn.
I make a motion we adjourn.
Second.
Jay made a motion to adjourn. Steve seconded the motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Now, like,
We might be out of here by 9:30.
You got executive session.
We got executive session.
We don't have to have one.
Personnel. Is there any more public comment?
no.
Look on the other one. Right here. Put your glasses on.
Let me zoom in so you can see it.
There you go. Now we'd like to call to order the Board of Supervisors meeting.
There you go.
Yeah. And
Any additional comments?
we already did the public comments. We don't have any additional comments. So, Mr. Pittman, welcome to the podium.
Gentlemen, I'm coming here tonight to get today to give the receipt of the sole source of justification for Insight LPR manufactured, and that's a justification for that, for the purchase of items for the Sheriff's Department.
Make a motion for sole source item.
Second.
Jay made a motion, Steve seconded the motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Mr. Slade.
Kind of a light agenda today, gentlemen. Under my section, we're going to ratify a resolution that has already been authorized and has been provided to our legislative delegation, the state legislature. This is your stated purpose and indication for your legislative authorization for the state to fully fund all of your assistant district attorneys, half of whom are currently being funded by Rankin County and Madison County together. The citizens of those counties are paying for a state employee to be employed by your district attorney's office. And we are asking the state to fund their own employees at the same level and commensurate so that Rankin and Madison County combined judicial district 20 is on par with every other judicial district in the state of Mississippi. So the benefit to Rankin County citizens is that if this legislation is adopted, approved, and passed and signed by the governor, then eventually the state will pick up the tab and the cost to the taxpaying citizens of Rankin County will be visited upon the state of Mississippi rather than upon the citizens of our county to fully fund state employees that work for the district attorney. So you've already indicated your intention for that to happen and your support of that piece of legislation that has been provided. Today, we're just ratifying what you've already done. Just need a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Steve made a motion, Scott seconded the motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
How was that received? Was it received well?
Very well, and acknowledging that things are out of line. I bear a message from one of our senators, Senator Kirby, to you, thanking you for the work done and the information provided. The issue has always been that the devil is in the details. And anybody across the state of Mississippi can take the same set of data and come up with a different interpretation of that data depending on where you are and what your agenda might be all around the state. But we used a very straightforward approach, one that is very difficult to find holes with, and established that Rankin and Madison County are not being treated similarly to every other judicial district in the state of Mississippi. That data can't be ignored, and it was presented in such a way that the other representatives around the state appear to be understanding that this clearly is out of whack. This is not on par. And so you've got a lot of judicial districts that the only answer, Scott, is they either have way too many for the number of cases that they file and prosecute, they have way too many ADAs, or conversely, our judicial district has about half as many as it should. And so we're happy to let everybody else know you can keep what you've got. Just make sure that Madison, Rankin County also have the same number. Make us equal. I'm not asking you to give up anything.
Right.
And so that message has been well received. And my hope is that we're gonna see success here, but this is the legislature we're talking about, and they have other things going on. Sometimes it gets in the way of a good agreement, and we're trying to navigate all of that. Okay?
All right, thank you.
Very good. Thank y'all.
All right, Mr. Hicks, County Administrator, you got anything?
Only thing I have is the agenda for Monday, if you have any questions.
Okay. Has anybody got any questions?
Yeah, I do. What is, where was it? Under contract, B. That's pretty vague, yeah. 1B?
Oh, this is gonna be for license plate reader placements.
Oh, okay, all right. So what are we doing, Kansas City?
That is the,
Gotta be railroad.
yeah, it's the railroad agreement, Hayden Center. For the, that's for
Oh.
the grade separation, to allow them to,
The bridge.
So what do we need Kansas City for?
They are actually participating financially in that project.
Okay. That's good news.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Glad somebody other than us is doing that.
Don't ask me how significant that participation it is, but I'm grateful that they at least acknowledge that this is a valuable project for them too.
It's 100% more than that.
Don't go there, Jeff.
Yeah, further discussion on it?
Mr. Slay, have you received the MOU request from Flowood?
Yes, sir.
And where are we before we
ready to discuss that?
Yeah,
Are we close
so,
on that?
wait, now,
The roundabout.
I'm thinking Fire Academy.
Roundabout.
I have not received
Okay.
that MOU, no,
Okay.
sir. I understand that I am to get it,
Yes, sir.
but I haven't gotten it yet.
Good enough.
At least as of this morning.
Gotcha, thank you.
I got two things under additional business, if y'all wanna get in there.
All right,
I'm good.
everybody through, our additional business?
One of them is a drainage issue in Stonebridge, and me and Mr. Parker and Mr. Harrison went out there, and of course, Craig, this is gonna be, I guess, a legal issue, cause the developer, you know how all that went down.
Yep.
It's something been going on since 1990.
Yes, sir.
And the developer sold a lot of the lots here recently in there, and a
Yes, sir.
builder is building in there, but one of the lots is not draining properly. And of course, they sold the home, and, the backyard fills up with water every time it flash flood or a big
Yes, sir.
rain.
Yes, sir.
And of course, the lady that bought it's first home, young lady, and, now she's wanting answers on what she needs to do. And Mr. Parker, if you would kinda explain what you seen out there.
Yeah, so it looks like,
Tim, can I ask a question first before you get into the details about it? Yeah, no.
Yes, please do.
I think you're.
Please do.
You're gonna be the one to answer. Is this in the section that was purchased by Mr. Clark?
Yes.
It's in that section?
Yes.
All right, that's what I wanted to make sure I understood. All right.
so it looks like, based on some old maps and topos, that there was a draw coming through, pretty good drainage draw, and it came, for lack of better words, from north to south, and crossed what's now the street running north-south. And
Pebble Creek, yeah.
And so by them, when they built the street and then they built the lots up on the side, there's no, it's literally, there's a bowl there where there's nowhere for the water to go. Now, it looks like the builder or somebody acknowledged that there was a problem, because there's a 4-inch pipe that comes out and daylights in the curb, which
A French drain running from the back. of
We
the
normally
yard
don't-
Between the two homes.
we don't normally allow that to just come out through the curb, because the curb's gonna end up broken there, because it's penetrating it. But when we were out there, it was the day after or 2 days after the
2
rain.
days.
2 days after the rain, it was still there was still water back there. It had gone down from the pictures they sent, but it was still flowing, probably at 3/4. It was flowing pretty good, so it looks like they acknowledged it. Now, there actually is a grading plan in the original plans for that, and it looks like there was to be a swell in those backyards, and then at some point, and I can't really haven't tied down which house it is yet, it was gonna turn and go between the houses. But those houses are
6 foot.
12, 15 foot apart, maybe?
Maybe.
10? Yeah, the air conditioning, you couldn't walk through there if both air conditioning units were side by side, I don't think. But it's tight between the houses. There's some options closer to the end of the street where there's a little bit more distance between the houses, but there doesn't appear to be any drainage easements there. But it's definitely, it's a spot that, I'm not gonna say that little pipe won't drain it eventually, but, it's gonna take a long time, and that size pipe behind the house is gonna stay clogged up.
Yeah, sure.
It's not gonna stay open. There's just no way to keep it
I mean,
open.
what-
Is there anything, does this have to do with anything with the county or the developer or the builder? I'm just asking, is this?
The illegal curb cut probably does impact us, because it's in our right of way. But
Right.
the infrastructure, the fact that there is a collection point that's in the rear yard, that's not counted.
So
There.
what would be your advice to the occupant of the house? They purchased it maybe 90 days ago.
I would say that's between them and the builder.
It's gonna end up being a builder issue, Brad.
Okay.
My assumption is,
Are they the first homeowner?
Yes, sir.
First time homeowner.
I mean,
And
It's a brand new house,
Brand new
brand new
home.
house in their
They
first time.
probably didn't know what they was getting into, or,
Yeah.
right, or they
quickly
know
to walk you guys back
the
through
issue.
how we got here. So the original developer of Stonebridge was Ben Turnage. It's Mr. Turnage's development. And he lost the development in the economic downturn, 07, 08-ish. The property sat vacant for a long period of time. There were some houses that had been constructed in some of the earlier phases of that development. That development, as you know, is designed to be a very large development. 1,000 houses, Brad? Probably.
I don't think it's.
600-800 houses total over the course of the entire development. Maybe a couple of hundred had gotten built before Mr. Turnage lost the development. That development is also a planned improvement district. It's one of our PIDs. And because there was a PID involved, were lenders involved that had made loans for certain of the amenities that were constructed out there. Among them, a very fancy stone bridge, and some other common areas, and a clubhouse, and a swimming pool, and some other things that were built that were common amenities for the entire development. So those all got financed with PID bonds. So there was a bondholder lender that got involved after Mr. Turnage lost the property, and the PID bonds were not being funded adequately because there weren't enough houses. The PID bond company came in and tried to address that. Eventually, the property ended up going through our tax sale, and nobody is gonna buy something that's got a PID assessment that's tied to it at a tax sale. So they literally went through the tax sale without being purchased. And all of those properties out there were struck off to the Secretary of State of the state of Mississippi. And our Secretary of State inherited the ownership of all of that property out there. Every one of those undeveloped lots. Okay, City of Brandon provides sewer, City of Brandon provides water. And so the properties sat literally until Jess, well, I'm sorry, Jared, never mind, Jess is not here. 2022-ish,
Yeah.
somewhere in that range, literally sat there for the better part of 15 years with nothing. Eventually, we worked things out with the Secretary of State. There was litigation that ensued, and the lenders themselves ended up with title and possession to the vast majority of those properties. It's an outfit out of Arkansas called Bank of the Ozarks that ended up with the vast majority. There is still a PID trustee who is responsible for a number of those lots out there, but they worked out an arrangement, the PID trustee worked out an arrangement where Mr. Turnage was able to go back and buy 100 of those lots.
You got a heck of an attorney.
Yep. Mr. Turnage bought 100 of his old lots back from the PID trustee. And that ended the litigation. They resolved it that way. The 100 lots that's why I asked Tim, are these the lots that Mr. Clark got?
Correct.
Mr. Turnage sold all 100 lots to a Clark builder. And he is building under a plan, he is building out. So this is a house that Mr. Clark, via Mr. Turnage, in that 100 lot section that is not owned by the PID trustee and is apparently Mr. Turnage's from the developer standpoint, that's his. And then he sold it, 100% of the lots, he sold them to Mr. Clark.
Does the occupant need to contact a builder or the developer?
Either one of those two, because I can't answer the question as I sit here.
Okay.
Is the issue on a lot, or is the issue on common area that Mr. Clark didn't buy? Mr. Clark bought the lots.
I'm gonna say it's part of the lot.
Yes. Pending on,
But the water's coming from.
yeah, I mean, the
separate
street,
property.
at the street elevation, I mean, I would say that the street, more than likely, and I didn't see it back then, but I think the street would have stopped the flow of the water other than it was going across where the lot is now built. So it's I think it's probably a combination, really. The final fill of the lot would be probably the last thing that caused it, but ultimately the street going in started the issue, but it maybe because the lot wasn't filled, it could still drain north somewhere. I don't know, or maybe it was standing there. It could have been standing there when the street was built, and having not seen it, I don't know if water was standing there before the house was built.
It's possible that Mr. Turnage still has some responsibility. It's more than likely probable that Mr. Clark, the builder, is who is responsible for how the water now flows on the lot in relation to the house.
Okay.
So your lady's best option, in my opinion, is to find legal counsel and make contact with the builder and make contact with Mr. Turnage and say, we're not 100% sure which of you two is responsible. We kind of believe both of you might be. Y'all figure it out. I want the water situation fixed.
Okay.
One thing I can say with clarity is that notification letter should not include Rankin County on it because we don't have the ability to address any of that.
Right. Okay.
That really is pretty much our answer, isn't it? That Rankin County
Yes, sir.
doesn't have,
I mean, and that's what I told you,
Any
it's not in
authority
our
in
right
this.
of way.
No, right.
We can't.
Had a very similar conversation this
I
week.
mean, we got a thing to do about some stormwater in the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the county has some issues on the right of way, but anything the county did there would
It's just gonna make it worse.
make it worse. I mean, if they stop that flow there, now it's
Yeah.
even worse.
but I mean, we have nothing to do with the
No, sir.
backyard.
No,
and
sir, it's.
We can give them, well,
And there is a grading plan in the original set of plans on the street that shows the water going between two houses.
That's one yes vote.
Yeah, Brad might be on board in a minute.
All right, thank you, Tim.
Yes, sir.
All right, did you have another one?
Yeah, one more.
Brad's taking up half of me.
The,
Should've said 9:30.
I had Kobe in the building department, Brett issue come out on another property that, Brett, in his recommendations, condemned. Is there any way we can speed? I mean, there's property all over Rankin County that needs to be condemned,
Yes, sir.
where the power can be eliminated,
Yes, sir.
because it's just a liability, or
Yes, sir.
somebody can get hurt.
So let me, give you guys a big picture perspective. This is dilapidated properties that have, possibly reached a point where they cannot even be safely inhabited. Okay? That looks more like a condemnation, not an eminent domain, like a condemning the property so that it cannot be inhabited because of life safety issues. That is a state law process. It's not a county code, it's not International Property Maintenance Code, although we can use the IPMC as a part of our evaluation. That is a state law process. And what I've done is I've provided Brian and Ashley a copy of that code section, and I've kind of established a process that we need to follow to be compliant with state law if we are going to, quote, condemn property and render it not inhabitable. Okay? We gotta follow state law. Brad, that law requires notice to the property owner and a public hearing. We can't avoid that part of it
Okay.
in order to be able to go all the way to say that property cannot be inhabited.
So it's still gonna be kind of similar to a nuisance property?
Very similar.
Okay.
And I think we have on the one you're thinking about, is this the cat house?
No, this is number
different?
2. And see, what brought it to my attention is the property owner lives in Michigan. He's reached out to some kind of realtor in Texas that's marketing this property. It's a mobile home that nobody's lived in
okay.
since early 2000.
right.
And it's just been sitting vacant with
So-
the windows busted out.
So here's our process. We have a code enforcement officer who could be a front line. So Colby, you look and you say, oh, Lord, this don't look right. We bring Brett in, fire coordinator, who has the ability, wearing his hat as fire coordinator, he has the ability to look at that and say, this is life safety. I don't want Colby making that call. I want Brett making that call. He has the experience and the training, and he wears a specific hat that is EOC. If Brett comes in behind Colby and says, this cannot be inhabited, and here's the list of problems that render it unsafe and unfit for human habitation, and you guys receive that in a public hearing, and the property owner has the ability to come in and either tell you that it's gonna be addressed or object to the findings somehow and convince you, once you've heard enough, you get to decide, we're either gonna declare it condemned and uninhabitable and render it uninhabitable, or we're going to give them an opportunity to fix it, or whatever else. You may just say, no, we're not gonna take any action. It's gotta come before y'all, but it's gotta be staged correctly, and I gotta have evidence.
Okay.
And that's gotta come from Brett.
All right.
So that's our process for condemnation. Not everything we go look at is going to be uninhabitable.
So do we not get the health department involved?
Typically, no. The state law does not require that the health department do anything in there. Really, it comes down to fire coordinator, through EOC, our community development office, the utilities, that's our first line of defense, Jay. We say to the electric power supplier, you've got to cut the utilities off. We say to the water, you've got to cut the water off. That's how you render it uninhabitable. Cut the power off, cut the water off.
Solution to speed this process if it wouldn't drag
Those
out.
utilities can't do that unless you guys say it's uninhabitable. So that's what we're trying to do. I think we're getting some cooperation from particular electric power suppliers.
we are.
They are telling us the minute we get something that shows Brett Issue's signature and and there's a life safety issue, we're going to cut it off. So some of this may solve itself just by having Brett go do a report.
So I guess on this one, we're gonna have to mail a letter and do the process kinda like
Just like a nuisance.
okay.
It's not nuisance,
I know it's not,
it's a separate deal.
but it's similar to the process.
The process is almost identical.
Okay, all right, that's all I have.
Did you have one more, Brad?
No, that's all I have.
Give him Anybody else with any additional business?
Mr. President,
Yes, sir, Mr. Gaines.
you may have already recognized, do we have high school students
Yes.
sitting in visiting with us today? We haven't, I hadn't recognized, you may have already recognized them, and I just wasn't paying attention.
Well, I haven't, I seen him slip in, but I didn't know.
Okay. They've been
Would you
here
like to
long.
come forward and give us your name?
No, you don't have to, you can,
Yeah, come on.
you can.
Yeah, come on forward and introduce yourself.
I just,
We like to know who you are.
Yeah.
Say something great about David Warner.
Hey guys, I'm Jarrett Moss from Hartfield Academy, and I'm here because our dual political science teacher gave us an assignment to come to a board meeting, be it school board or
So
supervisors
punishment.
board, and we just had to come to a public meeting, and so I'm here and I'm gonna end up writing an essay on this.
Appreciate you.
Glad to have you.
Thank you for
You
coming.
said your name is Jared?
Jarrett Moss, yes sir.
Jared, okay. Do you know who your supervisor is by chance? Do you know which district you live in?
I think it's probably him.
Mr. Scott Berry.
Just neighborhood.
It is.
I live in Cottonwoods, it's in Fannin.
I'd be yours.
Very good.
Thank you.
Well, welcome. Glad to have you.
Yeah, we're proud to have you. You been taking notes back there?
Yes sir, I have.
Yeah, I seen you right.
We're on
You hear that,
YouTube
Jared?
also, if you need to go back.
We have two Jareds taking notes.
Tell your teacher to pull it up so she can see you on camera.
Thank you
Yeah.
for
Yes, sir.
your comment.
All right,
Thank you all.
thank you.
So,
We've got property acquisition that we need to talk about quickly in executive. I apologize, but we can't talk about it openly, so if y'all will favor me with a little information on some property.
Okay.
Fannin Market,
Yes, sir.
did we declare that a nuisance and send it to justice court?
Jay, don't make a liar out of me. I don't think we did because we agreed we were gonna take the more nuclear option. I actually have the petition that's ready to be filed. I just need the affirmative go forth and file it.
So we had Tim and Mike go out there and look, and I think they have a recommendation on work that needs to be done
Yes, sir.
out there.
Yes,
So
sir.
do we need to talk about it in executive, or should we?
Probably, because it is absolutely headed to litigation.
All right. I make the motion to discuss the need for executive session.
Second.
Jay made a motion, discuss the need for executive session. Scott seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Land acquisition and potential litigation.
I'm making a motion to go into executive session for those reasons.
Second.
Jay made a
Land
motion,
acquisition and possible litigation.
and Scott seconded the motion for a plan acquisition and
Litigation.
any litigation. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.